We end up finding a 15-year-old girl.
We're dying.
No, stay.
As if a tent's gonna make us feel safe.
Echoes call from hollow halls, a voice that creeps and softly crawls. Time stands still, the air is.
The video, uploaded on the channel High Gear, begins like many of their others. Two friends set out for a day of motocross riding in the forests of Poland. The mood is light, mud, woodland trails, and a nearby quarry to explore. It was meant to be nothing more than an energetic afternoon on the bikes. But deep along one of the forest paths, something unexpected changes the tone. Almost too late, one of the riders notices it. Stretched tightly between two trees, right at head height, is a steel cable. At full speed, the rider has only a fraction of a second to react. He ducks, barely, and avoids what could have been a catastrophic outcome.
No, it's over. I see you passing by, leaning, the perfect light. Ghost love feels like someone cut out my tongue. I didn't know a heart could die this young. Oh, now when I look in your eyes, I feel paralyzed.
Мамо и небе. Ти види тоа? Добар стонак имам, идиот. Мамо и небе. А машкаш може да ми споручила постигнат. Kaj ti zdaj že, stari, te naravno? Princ! Slov! Ko jebem? What the fuck, man? To bom jaz zdaj vzel, stari. A misliš, da bi poklical policijo? Pač najbrž to ni ilegalno, a ne? Pač nekoga proba pobiti.
The camera captures everything, the gasp, the sudden burst of anger, the disbelief. They quickly understand that this wasn't forgotten equipment or a random hazard. It was deliberate, a steel wire across a trail where riders passed through, something designed to cause harm. Shaken, the friends debate their options. For a moment, they even consider hiding in the trees to see if the person responsible returns. The forest, so calm only minutes earlier, now feels heavier, like it holds a secret.
To se pa kar nam zgodilo, ne moram verjeti. Kaj? Vzamemo stopci zarijo domov. Bomo mi s tem vesel tega modela, Neki bi naredil, Motherfucker. Pa daj neki kamen, da zjebem to drevo, Kao, to so znaci, kaj se ne vodi. Teraz malo kada kje bom imel jebem, mate. Sam, let's get home. Po angleština je prav moj doma, Daj to samo ruzak, da gremo, da le kuk te, mislim, kuk te DJ-a, Ne, ravno, mater jebem. Meni se oslo to noter, More iti samo slati. No, faster. Dobro, da je bilo to na dosti pregledno, da drugače, ne vem, da bi ga ful pisal. Da bi imel špegle gor, stari, ubal bi se, majken. Ja, jaz sem jih imel, jaz sem sam tebe videl, ko še padel, Pač nerealno, Pač če jih obrišaš, še v pizdi. Pa nama pisal vse, ali nekaj takega. Pa če razviti tebi cel pizda, svitka, kafe, zbaci, ne. Zdaj se ustava, zdaj pri meni na eno pivačo, pa se gleda, tale. Kaj? Ustava pri meni na eno pivačo, da pogleda.
Instead of waiting, they untie the wire and carry it away, clearing the path of danger. The questions linger as they ride out. Who set it up? Why here? This time no one was hurt, but the thought stays with them. How easily the forest can shift from playful escape to something darker. Out here, it isn't always nature that poses the greatest risk, but the intentions of the people who step into it. What did you make of this encounter? Let me know. Before we go any further, I just want to ask you for a small favor. If you're enjoying the video so far, please give it a like. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time. We recently hit 100,000 subscribers, and that's all thanks to you. Our 100K special surprise was revealed, and we had many positive responses from you. Our next goal is to hit 200K before the year ends. It feels impossible, but hey, it's free to dream, right? Also, there's a hidden word somewhere in this video for you. Let's see if you can find it. Now, back to the video. Phil, the creator behind the YouTube channel Hike Slam, set out on a solo overnight hike along a stretch of the Appalachian Trail in Virginia. Just before Thanksgiving, his channel normally highlights the beauty of the outdoors, long trails, quiet campsites, and moments of reflection, but this trip would not be remembered for peace. Phil began his hike casually, ending one clip with the words, "See if anybody's there." What he didn't know was that he was about to stumble into one of the most unsettling encounters of his time on the trail. His plan was simple: camp near a river, by a shelter. But along the way, he began noticing strange details: cryptic writing scattered on trash and tree bark, odd notes, and fragments of song lyrics. And then, a dead duck left along the trail. Each discovery chipped away at the sense of safety the woods usually gave him.
So the hike's been awesome so far. I mean, I've only been out for about half hour. River behind me, really pretty day. As I was walking up, I saw some trash in the trail, and I came across this. So some Bud Light cans, plastic bat, some writing on some of this garbage. This one. Hangman is coming down from the gallows. Song lyrics. Other weird things. Well, hopefully I don't get murdered out here. That would totally ruin my day. Well, let's keep going. What the hell? A very long note. And it looks like it was just put here because it's not wet. That duck is fairly recently killed. Alright. Kinda creepy.
The feeling grew heavier when Phil encountered two women coming from the opposite direction. They too had seen the writings. They too had heard about the man responsible. Fear was written on their faces, so much so that they asked Phil to walk with them, just long enough to pass the stranger's campsite. Phil agreed, but he wanted no part of that campsite either. Instead, he pressed further along the trail, choosing to spend the night at another shelter, John's Hollow Shelter, where he hoped distance would mean safety.
Okay, well that was really weird. So as I was hiking toward the shelter, still considering what I was going to do for the night, these two women were hiking in the opposite direction. They had a little dog with them. They asked if I had seen the guy who was leaving the notes. I said he has a campsite down by the river because I could hear the fire going. I could see where his tarp was set up. He was actually just sitting on a rock down there. They were shocked I was still considering camping out there, but I decided that I didn't really feel like it, and plus they said that they were kind of freaked out and asked if I would go with them and walk past his campsite so they could get back to their car. So I did, and then when I got back to my truck, I went over to the other side of the road, drove up like a Forest Service road, and I'm actually on the Appalachian Trail, just going the opposite direction. So instead of going instead of going south, now I'm going north. But I'm just gonna find the closest camp spot to where I'm at because the sun is going down, and set up camp and yeah, settle in for the night. All right, let's get going. All right, so I'm on the Appalachian Trail, just in a different part, headed the opposite direction. So there's John's Hollow Shelter in Point 6. That looks like where I'll probably end up for the night. Hopefully there's no maniacs there. Really pretty out here.
At first glance, John's Hollow was beautiful, quiet, scenic, a place to rest. Phil set up his tent, built a small fire, and cooked a meal. He tried to relax, to ground himself in routine. That unease deepened when he picked up the shelter log again. More cryptic passages, more erratic song lyrics, Bible verses and rants scribbled into the pages. Instead of finding comfort in the record of past hikers, Phil felt as though he was staring into the thoughts of someone unstable and possibly dangerous.
All right, so I'm gonna check out the shelter log here. I hang out by the fire. Almost every shelter on the Appalachian Trail has a shelter log where people write in their trail names and what's going on. They can write whatever they want in there. So it's kind of cool tradition here. So let's see what this one says. Little engine, back section. Hiking again finally. Great day on the AT. This was in August. Huh. Someone left some PBRs here, I guess. It's nice and little trail magic. Ah, some comics. And this writing looks almost exactly like the writing that was on that garbage a couple of miles from here. Let's see if this makes any sense. Sorry if the lighting's bad. I'm just gonna see what it says. Cleaned the outhouse. Picked up trash. Collected wood for others. See Charlie Daniels' Simple Man lyrics, which I used in 2013 Facebook post, and note the rope I found with the silicone sealant can 2 miles south of that. I left it on a stump. In 2018, while I was incarcerated at the Okaloosa County Jail. What the heck?
Every new entry made the atmosphere heavier. The shelter was quiet, but it didn't feel empty. The writings carried the weight of someone else's presence, someone who might still be nearby. That night, Phil lay in his tent, trying to push away the unease. But the sounds of the forest, normally background noise, now felt amplified. Each crack of a branch, each rustle in the leaves, pulled his attention. Then came footsteps. Distinct, close. A beam of light from a headlamp flickered across the shelter. Phil didn't wait to see who it belonged to. He packed quickly, heart pounding, and hurried through the dark back toward his truck.
Okay, I'm out on the trail. It's the middle of the night. I was down in my tent, not asleep, kind of just like lying there staring at the tent walls, listening to all the sounds, and then I heard somebody down by the shelter. So at first I had to convince myself it wasn't what I thought I heard, but it definitely was somebody down there. So I didn't even wait to see or go down to see who it was, see if it was like a bunch of teenage girls or something. I don't know. I was just like, I am getting out of here. So I packed up all my stuff, and I packed it up very quickly. I don't think I left anything behind, and I just walked past. As I walked past, I did look. It did look like a single guy hanging out in the shelter. He had a headlamp on. All I could really see was the light from the headlamp, so I could have been wrong. But man, it was, yeah. So I don't know. I just got out of there, and like that's the thing. It's like it was probably a guy who was out like me, like out and wants to just go camping or spend a night out. Beautiful night. But I wasn't gonna hang around. I don't know. I guess I got scared. But so I decided to pack up all my stuff and hike back. I looked back behind me a bunch of times as I was hiking to see if that light was following me.
What began as a simple overnight trip had unraveled into something far more unsettling. Cryptic writings, eerie encounters, and a midnight retreat from an unknown presence. Phil's Thanksgiving hike didn't leave him with peace or reflection. Instead, it left him with lingering questions. Who was behind the writings? What did they mean? And how close had that person been when he walked away into the dark? What's your take on this encounter? On May 21, 2022, a catastrophic derecho storm swept across Canada, one of the largest ever recorded, with winds peaking at 90 km/h, strong enough to rival a hurricane. Multiple tornadoes spun out from a straight Spartan line, cutting across provinces and destroying nearly everything in their path. For Tyson Pierce, the creator behind Bushcraft Vikings, this wasn't just another news story. His channel normally offers calm escapes into the woods, quiet, outdoor builds, experiments in survival, and the kind of peaceful crafting that draws people closer to nature. But the video he uploaded after this storm was unlike anything he'd shared before. It carried a chilling caption: "My bushcraft shelter saved our lives. We survived a tornado." That caption wasn't an exaggeration. It was his reality. That morning, Tyson had gone into the woods near Hawkesbury, Ontario, with his younger brother and a friend. Their plan was simple: visit the bushcraft shelter he had built and collect rocks for a new chimney.
So we need to get a lot of rocks. Let's get to work. I got 2 helpers today.
2 helpers?
Yeah, we're gonna get some rocks, so behind the scenes, you know. Ragnar and Ragnar.
Miguel!
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 Very heavy. Now see how camped in that shot. Nou, was je die rush?
By early afternoon, the three of them were working without worry, unaware that everything was about to change. As Tyson reached for his phone, a severe weather alert flashed across the screen. In that moment, the atmosphere shifted. Within seconds, the sky darkened. Tyson's first instinct was to run, but he quickly realized they wouldn't make it. There wasn't time. Instead, he ordered the boys into the shelter. That single decision would prove to be the reason they were alive to tell the story. Then the storm struck. It hit with the violence of a freight train.
On peut pas sauver, c'est d'être là. Check.
Ah, ils se sont fait. Qu'est-ce qu'on fait?
Elle s'en vient, reste en dedans.
Non, non, non.
En dedans, en dedans. Non, on peut pas, il est trop tard. En dedans. Reste en dessous. Tornado. Tornado. Stay low. Stay low. Stay low. Stay low. Stay. 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 Stay low.
Is it leaving?
No. Stay. 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 Oh, buddy. Stay. 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 It is a small ball. It is small ball. It is small ball. Stay low. No. No. We're good. We're good. We're good.
No, we're dying. We're dying. We're dying.
No. Stay. Stay. Shit, bro.
Oh my god. Tice.
Stay. Stay.
Stay, Miguel.
Stay. Stay.
We're gonna wait until.
Holy shit.
Tice, please don't make me.
C'est good. C'est good. On est good.
On est good? But sir, 100% sir.
Please, God. Please. Please.
God, s'il vous plaît.
S'il vous plaît.
Oh my god, no.
Please, no. Stay low. Stay low.
No.
Stay.
No.
Holy
Tyson, please.
Stay. Please, God, please.
God, please.
Inside the small bushcraft shelter, the three of them clung to the ground, while debris slammed around them, and towering trees cracked and splintered overhead. The walls shook, the roof strained, but somehow it held. When the winds finally eased, Tyson and the others emerged into devastation. Trees were snapped in half, bicycles were mangled under fallen limbs. Debris was scattered in every direction. But against all odds, their makeshift cabin still stood, scarred, but unbroken.
We need to go home. We need to go home now. Pack everything.
We're gonna have a lot of things to say at school.
Oh my God! Holy shit! Oh my god!
Holy sh!
Holy crap!
Oh my god!
Look at that!
Freaking out. Hey, I'll put parkour mode 3000.
Okay, Biscuit, let's go. Oh my god! Attends, attention, c'est des gros arbres. Parce qu'il va mouiller fort là.
Go!
Let's go, guys. Oh my god!
Shit.
On peut même pas passer.
No!
Let's go.
We don't care!
Let's go.
Not long. No.
We need to find the trail. Watch for big trees. Allez pas proche des gros arbres. That trail ain't shit. That's the trail.
Yeah, big trail.
There's no trail.
Oh, that's parkour.
Man. Man.
This video wasn't just another bushcraft project, it was raw survival. Tyson admitted later that editing the footage was difficult. It forced him to relive the fear and the helplessness of those minutes inside the storm. Yet he shared it anyway, believing that others needed to see it. It was a sobering reminder that even the most skilled outdoorsmen can find themselves vulnerable when nature turns without warning. Out there, calm can shift to chaos in an instant. And sometimes the only thing standing between life and death is the shelter you've built with your own hands. What would you have done in that moment? On August 22nd, Broken Capital, a YouTube channel usually known for its adventurous outdoor explorations, set out for an overnight camp in Cannock Chase, a sprawling forest in the UK long linked to eerie legends and unexplained sightings. Usually their content leans more toward curiosity and adventure. But this night would take on a different tone entirely. The setting itself felt like a warning. Thick trees, tangled undergrowth, and a silence that seemed too heavy for the forest. What began as a light-hearted trip soon became something else, an experience that left them questioning whether they were truly alone.
Right, we're going to have another look round. We'll find some areas. I mean, like we said, we're here all night.
Unfortunately.
Whoa, that moth just scared me.
I thought that's an orb.
Shut up.
There's light shined on it.
Carl saw an orb once, and not on the camera either. Remember that?
Yeah, and believe me.
It scared the out of it. What?
You hear that then, or was that your feet? Rustling.
Well, I did rustle then when you said what.
Oh, it could be your feet. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it wasn't one of the...
Have you left, like, all the stuff in camp?
Yeah. Well, you brought your stuff with you?
No, forgot.
Oh, they don't nick my crisps.
I just hope they don't nick my cheese strings.
Yeah.
At first, the mood was still easy. They joked, explored, and brushed off the strange atmosphere. Even the smallest noises, a crack of a twig, a rustle in the leaves, began to hold more weight. The woods were already pressing in on them. Darkness settled quickly, heavy and absolute. Their torches cut narrow beams through the trees. But the silence around them carried a strange charge, as if something waited just outside their reach. Then came the sound of heavy movement. Whoa, that was heavy. Oh, there's people coming with lights. That realization hit harder than anything else. The possibility of strangers, unknown and unseen, wandering through the forest sent them rushing back toward camp.
Which way?
Which way did we come?
We went... Whoa, that was heavy.
That was very heavy. Oh fuck, there's people coming with lights. Where? Over there. See? No.
Look around, man. Oh, shit. Let's get back to the tent.
Coming with lights, Carl.
Yeah, let's get back to the tent.
Fucking hell. You can see people coming with lights. I'm more scared of people than paranormal at the minute. Fucking mental here. I I physically can't do this, and I am. Of all the places. Right, see in a minute. Did you hear that little giggle laugh kind of thing?
No? Honestly?
Swear down. Right, let's just find the base. As if a tent's going to make us feel safe.
Well,
Back at the tent, the tension didn't fade. A lamp near the shelter seemed to flicker on by itself until they realized it was only their camera light. Rational explanations helped briefly, but only on the surface. The unease never left. They tried to focus on their apps, listening for voices, straining for answers, but the forest answered only with silence, interrupted by sudden knocks that made them freeze. Then came a crack like a gunshot or a firework splitting through the trees. Shadows shifted at the edges of their vision. Somewhere nearby, railings rattled violently. Bats darted overhead, but the sounds in the darkness didn't belong to bats.
Right. This is fucking mental.
isn't it?
And what, when we run away, and we're like, oh, what the f*** that? Go, 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 go.
Yeah.
What are we going to do? Just go and sit in a paper bag?
Maybe you shut up about that.
Truth?
Go along now.
You're going to sit there and say we haven't run away from somewhere before? We're up.
Any spirits here? Can you come out and talk to us?
We're at a bit of an opening now. We're going to have a few call-outs.
Please, come and talk to us.
No words. See in a minute.
Bloody hell.
What the f***?
Big bang, wasn't it?
Sounds like a firework or a gun. God, why didn't we hear anything until we started?
Exhaustion began to set in. One of them tried to rest, while the other stayed alert, muttering that the night felt on top of him, as though the forest itself was pressing down. Distant torches appeared between the trees, but they couldn't tell who or what was carrying them. The night gave them no clear answers, only strange lights, rattling metal, and whispers that never revealed their source. Cannock Chase has always carried its share of mystery and unease, and on that night, it gave Broken Capital a reminder. Sometimes the scariest encounters in the wilderness aren't about what you see, they're about what refuses to show itself. But what do you think? Joey Mack is a dirt bike rider whose channel is usually filled with lighthearted, fast-paced adventures. Their plan was simple: ride into Batista Canyon, test the bikes, and enjoy the freedom of the trails far from the nearest town. The video begins in that familiar rhythm, Joey pointing out details about the bikes, talking through fuel injection and suspension quirks, before the two set off deeper into the rugged canyon. As the ride continues, the atmosphere begins to change. The trails narrow into rocky slopes and dry creek beds.
But no, so far pretty pumped on it. We're gonna get going here. We gotta find the trail. There's like nobody out here, and we're like a good 45 minutes into the forest. So
right next to a prison.
And yeah, and a prison's right up there. I'll show the clip. I thought we were riding for a while.
Fuck, I was like this.
Oh, this is like never ending. My ass hurts.
Over there, guy.
I don't see any of the prisoners. Oh, there they are back there. Orange jumpsuits. It's so sketchy. They're literally like 100 feet away. I'm sure there's a couple fences, or at least that thing. Imagine if they popped out of the bushes and took our bike. They took Brennan and ran off with them. Like, later, Brennan, I'll go get help.
Joey notes how far they are from the nearest road. at least a 45-minute ride, and how no one else seems to be around. The sense of isolation sets in. Then, an interruption. After turning back from a swarm of bees, Joey catches sight of something unexpected. A girl walking alone in the creek bed. She doesn't appear like a passing hiker. She's barefoot, dressed in black, and with no vehicle nearby. The sight of her here, so deep into the canyon, feels out of place. Joey slows down, unsettled, and soon reconnects with Brendan to talk through what he saw. Brendan confirms it, adding that the girl had even run toward him at one point before quickly changing direction.
What the fuck? Where did she come from? Okay, that is creepy. That is so creepy. Brennan's gonna freak out. Do I go back and look for him? What the hell? Where did she come from? Where did she just come from? I gotta go find Brendan. This is like something out of a freaking movie right now. Dude, I feel like I'm being pranked right now. What was that?
What?
That girl.
That's creepy as fuck, huh?
Was that not creepy?
Her bag, I was just going in her bag.
Wait,
Her
what?
bag way down there where I kept going.
Yeah.
There's a bag like hidden in the bushes down there.
Dude, she just like was
She
staring.
came, like, running at me.
She did?
Yeah, I was like, I rode back through the river.
Yeah.
And she was like sprinting through there. And just,
What? She was just like kind of like staring at me. Dude, that was weird. Let's get the out of here. What was she carrying? I know. I don't know. Okay, let's get out of here.
The energy of the ride shifts. The bees, the looming presence of the state prison in the distance, and now, this barefoot stranger in such an empty place. It all feels off. Joey and Brendan decide to leave the canyon behind. Even after returning, the moment doesn't fade. While editing the footage, Joey's girlfriend searches online for missing persons. One name surfaces, Carly Gosset. Joey studies the resemblance and, unsettled by the possibility, decides to call the police. Later that night, close to midnight, the police call him back with news. But it isn't what he expected. The girl wasn't Carly. Instead, police had located a 15-year-old runaway and her 17-year-old boyfriend missing for 2 days, thanks in part to Joey's footage and quick decision to report it.
As soon as I got in contact with him, they were super helpful. I told them my whole story, where I seen her at, and they're like, okay, we're gonna send someone out right then. And so then he ended up calling me around like 8 o'clock at night, I believe. And he was like, so, okay, give me like your directions, where they were at and stuff like that. So that's exactly what I did. And he's like, all right, I'm heading out right now. I was like, you're gonna go out there at 9 at night right now, like out into the forest? And he's like, yep, I'm gonna go see if I can find her. And so he ended up calling me back at, I think it was, 12 a.m. in the morning. He's like, hey, he's like, good news, Joey, we found him. And he's like, it's not the girl that you thought it was. It is not Carly, but you did find some missing teens. And I was like, what do you mean? So actually, he ended up finding a 15-year-old girl and her boyfriend, I believe it was, he was 17 years old. And they've been missing for 2 days. So they ended up running away from home, something like that. I didn't really get into details too much. Obviously, it's not my place, but he said, good job. He's like, your directions led me straight to him. They ended up sleeping in like a little ravine in there, and they were able to return back to their parents. So it ended up being a happy ending, which I'm glad. Unfortunately, it was not Carly, but if you guys haven't heard about her whole story, I'd go check it out. She's still missing 8 months later, 9 months later, and it'd be cool if maybe this shed a little bit of light on her story and helped out. Maybe she was able to be found later on. But
both teens were returned home safely, but Carly's case remains unsolved. No trace of her has been confirmed. What began as a simple ride to test out new bikes became something else. a reminder of how easily strange encounters can emerge in remote places, and how they stay with you long after the ride is over. What did you make of this encounter? Let me know. On August 8th, 2025, Bear from the YouTube channel Exploring with Bear returned alone to a notorious stretch of forest in New Hampshire, Berlin's so-called Bigfoot territory. Just 2 nights earlier, his trip had ended before it even began, when something stopped him in his tracks at the forest's edge. This time he pushed forward. At first, his excitement carried him back into the woods, but as daylight slipped away, that enthusiasm slowly gave way to unease. The darker it became, the heavier the air seemed to grow. By nightfall, Bear began setting up camp. Every snap of a twig or rustle in the trees kept him alert, forcing him to balance focus on his tasks, with constant awareness of his surroundings.
Welcome back to another adventure. If you're new to the channel, I'm Jer Bear. For tonight's adventure, I have worked up the nerve to come back to where I just came the other night to film for you guys. A Bigfoot hunting adventure here in Bigfoot territory in the wetlands. But before I even entered the forest, down at the end of that, I was on that road, right there. A huge crash happened, like right where I'm standing now. I pointed my flashlight down the trail, facing this way. And right in this area, there was a huge set of eyes standing. I could see it moving too. I'm nervous now though, because the sun's going down. I felt a lot better about 15 minutes ago when it was pretty daylight. Like it looks a lot lighter on camera maybe. Now you can tell it's getting dark. So without further ado, and pretty much risking my butt for you guys, let's head on down this trail, set up a little camp, and see what we can't see what we can't hear. We'll do some Bigfoot knocks, some Bigfoot calls. Whew, and I'm nervous.
Not long after, the stillness broke. Footsteps, slow, deliberate, moved through the forest floor. Branches snapped, just out of sight. The sounds weren't constant, but they were close enough to make it clear. He wasn't entirely alone. As the fire burned lower, new disturbances crept in. His headlamp caught the glint of glowing eyes reflecting back at him from the darkness. Each faint movement, each shift in the shadows, suggested a presence just beyond reach. Something, or someone, watching.
What just thumped from over here? My heart's freaking racing. My fire's out. They keep inching closer, man. Does this thing go any brighter? Oh, there they are again. There's 2 or 3 of them. This is insane.
Bear's voice revealed what his firelight couldn't hide. The forest was pressing in, and his anxiety was peaking. Sleep was no longer an option. Leaving was starting to feel like the only reasonable choice. Still, he knew he couldn't just abandon camp recklessly. Bear made sure the fire was out, hesitant to leave behind a trace of himself in such uncertain company. Well, our fire went out. With everything that's happening, I'm gonna make sure that fire's out, and I just get everything cleaned up. His nerves sharpened further. The eyes were still there, fixed on him, silent but unmoving.
Well, our fire went out. With everything that's happening, I'm gonna make sure that fire's out and just get everything cleaned up. The chair put away. I'm not sitting down no more. I'm not even trying to sit down right now. And yeah, let's get everything packed. I don't want to leave anything if I have to. Well, I can't run even with all that stuff. But anyway, let's get it packed up. And then we'll oh my goodness, what is that, man?
I can see him back there. Eyes watching us.
Just eyes staring at me.
Bear began packing quickly, but carefully, his movements deliberate, scanning the tree line after every sound. Each glance toward the darkness seemed to confirm the same thing. He was being watched. Choosing safety over curiosity, he gathered the last of his gear, stacked heavier items into his truck bed for security, and, without hesitation, left the site behind. The forest closed back in, swallowing whatever had been standing just out of sight.
That was scary. So many eyes. But then stuff was thrown twice. Man, my heart really is racing. Oh my goodness. All right, let me calm down for a minute. Holy smokes. This place, that's twice. Oh my goodness. So I think from now on, we're going to call this place Bigfoot Forest. This was the wetlands. But that's the last 2 times I've been here. And tonight, boy, man. Woo!
Whether the strange activity was the work of animals, wandering people, or something far more elusive, one truth haunted Bear more than any theory: the undeniable presence of someone or something in a place he thought was empty. Out here, animals can be prepared for, but the unknown, human or otherwise, stirs a very different kind of fear. It was that feeling, more than anything else, that turned his curiosity into a drive to keep searching. What do you think was out there with Bear?